Welcome back here with us on Urban Debate on Mirror Now. After an enforced resignation from all 26 members of the cabinet in Sri Lanka, new ministers have been appointed. But will these new ministers change the reality of the country and the citizens is the big question. The economic crisis has forced citizens to take to the streets. Protesters have been demanding resignation of country's president, blaming him for this entire crisis. There is shortage of food, petrol, electricity. Trading was halted on Sri Lanka Stock Exchange after it plunged nearly 6% just hours after the curfew was lifted in the capital city of Colombo. Protesters took to the streets, once again demanding the resignation of Rajapaksa brothers from the post of president and the prime minister. Let's straight away go across to my colleague Priyank Tripathi, who currently is in Sri Lanka. He's in Colombo, and he has been bringing to us the details of what the situation is right now. Priyank, good evening. Tell us a little bit about what you saw during the day. If you could just bring us up to speed with the kind of problems people of Sri Lanka today are facing because of this economic meltdown. How serious is the situation for the people there?
Yeah, good evening, Heena. And the change of all these ministers has been called by the protesters as a musical chair because the same set of people who were in the present government has taken the power, and certainly the president and the prime minister has not given their chairs and they have not resigned from the post. So the protesters were very much unhappy. Throughout the day, we saw a series of protests happening on the streets of Colombo. During the day, it was continuing, and in the evening, there was a massive crowd of more than thousands of people who turned up to the Independence Square in the city of Colombo. But while talking to the individuals and all those residents, we saw that there was shortage of LPG cylinder. There were long queues at the gas station specifically for diesel. CNG and petrol were available, but diesel, which is certainly used for the commercial vehicle, was missing from the scene. The Indian government has also supplied huge amount of relief material, which also include sending of diesel, which will be very beneficial for the economy of the country. But in the evening, the president also had a meeting with all the members of the parliament, and he has assured us that a very strict action will be taken, and those actions will certainly be very beneficial for the people of Sri Lanka. But since it's just the beginning of these new steps which is being taken by the government, we'll have to wait for some more time period to know that what could be the outcome. What I can say is, Heena, that for the good 2 to 3 weeks, the situation will be same for the people and the residents who are staying in the outskirts of the country.
All right. Thank you very much, Priyank, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We also now want to show to our viewers the report that you have sent to us from Sri Lanka, which gives us a glimpse of the kind of difficulties that people there are facing. Before we get you that one report, let's see what the MP of the ruling party there had to say on this crisis.
The ruling party MPs, and it was a very successful meeting, and we had exchange of opinions, and it was meeting went on quite well.
Sir, the major the opposition parties had denied to join you. Then how will you run the cabinet and the government in the country?
Appointing the cabinet is up to the president, so president will decide on that. But we have the majority in the parliament, so we will go ahead.
My final question to you is: Will Rajapaksa will be resigning soon?
No.
Long queues are being seen outside gas stations as prices are soaring and their demands remain unmet. In black market, fuel is being sold for over 3,000 rupees. Here's a report sent to us by my colleague Priyank Tripathi.
All these lines for the cylinder of LPG have been quite visibly seen on the city of Colombo. People are waiting here, but the big problem for them is that only 50 LPG cylinders are available at one time. This is a long queue of all these LPG cylinders which are empty, which are blue in color, of this Iceland city, where residents are facing problem. Only 50 cylinders are available.
Yeah, only 50, maybe 70. And then before coming, people and take it already home. After I am waiting, and no gas. Tell you after no gas.
Then another day.
Yeah, other day. Maybe tomorrow you come. And then tomorrow comes, sir. Waiting, polling, one by one, polling. And then
What is the price?
price, contract price, 2,780, 680. Contract price okay, it's okay.
Okay.
No problem. I am waiting, so many problem gas.
Yeah.
Oh no, Ramadan times are very problem, very tension. Every day come leaving, no ham.
And what about black? If you don't take it from here, from outside, how much?
Outside somebody 3,500, 3,800, maybe 4,000, 5,000 selling. Illegal. Contract price take it gas and then people out of country give call, I give have gas and then come. How much? And then 4,500, maybe 5,000, maybe 3,800 gas.
So that is the problem of these people who are saying that in control rate they are getting only a limited number of cylinders, but when the way they miss these cylinders from the control price, then the prices are at a very high rate. It has exceeded to around 4,000 to 5,000 at times.
So that was a report that my colleague Priyank Tripathi sent to us earlier. We are now joined by Shankian, who is Member of Parliament, Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now. We also have with us Professor Asanga Abhyagunasekara, Strategic Advisor, ORF, Senior Fellow, the Millennium Project, joining us live this evening. Good evening to both of you. But let me go across to the Member of Parliament from Sri Lanka. Shankian, can you tell us what can really be done to solve the crisis that Sri Lanka is currently witnessing? Because the chorus is just getting louder for the resignation of president. The demand is very, very clear, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Do you think only that can help change the situation on the ground?
Yes, thank you for having me on your program. In fact, people have lost confidence in the president and the prime minister. And in fact, the Rajapaksa family, which is the ruling family that has, taken over the government under their control in the last 1.5 years, and they have completely mismanaged the country's economy, whilst the opposition parties, including myself and our political party, and even in fact scholars and experts on the economic side had advised the government to restructure the debt, to seek the help of the International Monetary Fund, and to ensure that the fiscal policies within the country are managed well. But however, it fell on deaf ears, and President Rajapaksa's younger brother, Basil Rajapaksa, was appointed as the finance minister, and the central bank governor resigned from his parliament portfolio and joined the central bank as a governor. And then the rate that the money was being printed, it was inevitable that we come to this situation. But going forward, what can be done is that right now people have lost faith in this government. People have lost faith in the Rajapaksas. So I think the best solution would be, and the president in fact had called for a all-party interim cabinet, but all the opposition parties, including my party, has rejected that. Saying the fact that the public have lost confidence in the president and the prime minister. So any cabinet that the president and the prime minister are heading, where they are calling the shots, will not be accepted by the people. So they will have to, they can be part of the interim cabinet, but not as the president and the prime minister. So they will have to step down, and I don't think people are going to settle down for anything less than that.
But the situation on the ground is getting worse every single day. We saw the governor of the central bank, also resigning. Inflation is quite high. There are power cuts as well. So even if we do see the president resigning as being demanded right now, how will it immediately help the situation improve on the ground? Simultaneously, is something being done to address the concerns of the people, the crisis that people are into?
Well, this crisis is not something that we can come out of that easily, because our foreign reserves are so depleted that 2-3 days ago we weren't able to pay for a container of fuel. that had diesel, and it was the government had to pay demurrage because there was not enough funds to pay for it. It was only a few about 30 million US dollars, and that's how bad the situation is. So I think people also do understand that there is no magic wand that can take this country out of this misery, but it's just that the people are demanding that the people who are responsible, that they need to resign and they need to take responsibility for it, and then we can move towards the plan. So right now, what we have proposed at my political party, we represent the Tamil community in the north and the east, and there are many Tamils who live outside the country who were chased away from this country during the 83 riots and the civil war that happened, and their economy today all put together is larger than Sri Lanka's debt, and we can bring some money in from them as long as the government is happy to address the Tamil national political question. But that is one option. The other option is that the people understand that it's a long-term recovery process where we go to the IMF, but at the same time, people are not happy for government ministers and MPs and their friends and their fellow associates for them to enjoy benefits on taxpayers' money there. That is why they're asking them to resign. And because snap elections is not a possibility right now, in my opinion. So the only way forward is that we have to seek the help of the IMF. But why people demand that these people resign, the president and the prime minister and the entire family and the cabinet, is because that they are the ones who are responsible. So people don't think that they can take Sri Lanka out of this mess.
Okay. Professor Asanga, now there is no magic wand. We all know that. What is it that can help Sri Lanka come out of this state of turmoil that it is into today? What is your view?
It is a serious crisis. I agree with what MP Chanakya has clearly mentioned. It's an Arab Spring moment for Sri Lanka. How I see the ripple effects of protests going into different parts of the island, the university students, the judiciary is protesting. Even the diaspora outside, Sri Lankans, who are living in Melbourne, in the US, in Japan. So it is an Arab Spring moment because the Arab Spring was for authoritarianism, which is in Sri Lanka, the authoritarian regime, and it was against corruption. So Sri Lanka, everyone is talking about, they're fighting their fight against corruption and the corrupt first family. So they're saying Rajapaksa's out, clearly. And the cabinet reshuffle, which happened, they're not satisfied with that. What they want is they don't want to see the same old faces. So that's why they said the musical chairs. We don't want that. So I think a new government needs to be formed. And what is immediately required is an economic stability to the country. An interim government with fresh faces have to come in immediately because everyone is protesting. And you can see the police as well as the others. You see some support coming in also from the forces because the entire country is protesting. So it's a crisis. What Chanakyan just mentioned about the insolvency issue, that we don't have funds to pay our debts, as well as the liquidity issue, which is very serious, has to be controlled. And the people are living without power for more than 10 hours. So there is a serious crisis which needs some sort of stability right now. And international community definitely should assist Sri Lanka. And at this moment, because it is a moment of actually a critical juncture where people want democracy, people want the corrupt to be punished. What they're saying is there should be some accountability also. Doesn't mean, although the slogans say "Gota, go home," doesn't mean that the people are not asking for accountability. So they want, but you can see the slogans. They want their money back. They want, what is all these large, corruption scandals to be investigated properly, and some justice. So I think it's a moment. With the patterns that is developing, it is an Arab Spring moment.
Oh, it is an Arab Spring moment is what you're calling it for Sri Lanka. Did you see this coming?
we had some patterns, signals coming in, and the patterns, clearly match, some of which we shared with our researchers. Sri Lanka had two insurgencies in 1971 and 1988. So we were looking at, with all these economic crises and all that, whether this could be possible. And in June last year, The Coming Anarchy in Sri Lanka, which was a popular article which I authored, and it basically highlights the autocratic grip, the militarization that's going on. It will not help, and a democracy like Sri Lanka, especially a small country,
right,
all this population. So these are the factors we saw.
All right. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening and helping us understand how the situation is in Sri Lanka right now.